Hello and welcome to the Daily Mill for Sunday the 15th of May 2022. Now, luckily for me and for you watching this video, the South London Press put out a long piece story today. So we're going to be reading this and then I'm going to tell you about next season. Attacking department set to be the key area for Millwall's transfer focus this summer. Gary Rowett has underlined that Millwall's moves in the summer transfer window to strengthen their attacking department is going to be pivotal to their hopes of improving on their 21-22 championship campaign. The Lions finished 9th in the table and took their playoff hopes to the final day for the first time since regaining championship status in 2017. Millwall needed to win at AFC Bournemouth and hope rivals slipped up. But in the end, a 1-0 reverse at the Vitality Stadium did not matter, as Sheffield United and Luton were both victorious to claim 5th and 6th spots in the standings. Now comes a summer of extensive rebuilding. Jed Wallace, the club's outstanding attacker in recent seasons, is out of contract this summer and exploring these options. Nottingham Forest had offers rebuffed in the January transfer window, and he was also linked to her Turkish outfit Besiktas. Benik Fobi, Oliver Burke and Shane Yojo drop out of the squad after their loans ended, while Conor Mahoney will be released. It leaves the lines with Tom Bradshaw, Mason Bennett and Tyler Berry as their offensive options. Asked about being short at the top end of the pitch, Rowett said, "The forward areas are obvious. We're losing goals, quality and numbers. That is probably our main focus recruitment wise, which is why it's such a big summer. Forwards and forward quality is not easy to find at the top end of the championship, because the reality is that's where we are. That is going to be a challenge. That is going to be tough to do, but every summer there are different recruitment challenges you tend to live or die by that summer. I thought we recruited really well last season, and we have to probably recruit even better this year to have a chance of having a stronger season." Afobe, along with Arsenal centre-back Dan Ballard, made the most impact of the loanees. The Stoke City striker scored 13 goals and still has 12 months to run on his contract. And boy, look at that. Doesn't he have a great smile, huh? What a heartthrob. Any striker who gets double figures will have options, said Rowett, who was a Stoke boss when they splashed £12 million to sign him from Wolves in January 2019. He moves well, he's athletic and a type a lot of people are looking for. People know all about Benik Fobi, he's been doing it for a long time. This year was a very good year for him and probably exactly what he needed. All we can do is hope that there are less options than he's probably going to get. Maybe he wants to try and make it work, coming back for another year. That is out of our reach. He is Stoke City's player. I signed him, so I know he's on a very good contract and is there for a while longer. It's not an easy one to work through. That's a good point. So Gary Rowett, being the manager that signed him, he obviously knows the details of the contract, which is good to have that inside information. All we can do is wait and see what their faults are, what Benik's faults are, and wait in the wings and see if there's anything to be done. I don't think we'll rush into that. We still need to look for other options because it's probably less likely we'll be able to get him back as much as we'd like to. In the last 2 seasons, the Lions have taken a centre forward on loan. This time it was Afobe. Before that it was Ken Zahor and Troy Parrott from West Bromwich Albion and Tottenham respectively. Going down that route allows a club to sign a player and pay a portion of their salary, enabling an addition that would sometimes prove too financially steep for Millwall's budget. But while Rowett describes it as a realistic option, he added, "I hope not, because every time the window then becomes a patch up and trying to change it again." Exactly, you need to keep doing it over and over and over again. But that would probably be better than signing a player on a 3-year deal and he turns out to be absolute fucking dog shit and you've got him stuck there on a 3-year deal. At least if you loan a player in, you can, if it's in the loan deal, you can send him back and carry on. We have to look more long term than that. We've got some good young players coming through, the likes of Isaac Alofi, who's been on loan at Sutton United, and also the likes of Tyler, Zach Lovelace and Nana Boateng. Don't forget Tyrese Briscoe there. We want to add our own players to that if we can, so if we build something, then if players do well, they are our players and worth money, we can then choose whether we sell them and reinvest. I think that's the way we want to go. But we need a lot of options, and the reality is a couple of those might end up being loans, but they need to be loans of a real significant quality because that is what we're losing. We'll always use the loan market, but I'd rather this year we'll lean a little bit more on permanent deals if we can. Club captain Alex Pearce is not being offered new terms, despite having other senior professionals in Bartosz Białkowski 34, Scott Malone and Sean Hutchinson both 31. Rowett has stressed the importance of the dressing room dynamic. Mikael Keftenbeld 31 is out of contract at the end of June. It's so difficult to quantify that for people who are not inside the club, said the Lions boss. Someone like Piercy is always the one. If I've got an issue or we need things doing better, I go to him and he usually sorts it out in the dressing room. There's a real position of responsibility there for that leader. We've got other players in the squad with similar experience but perhaps slightly different characters. You need a blend of people. When you put a squad together, it's impossible not to have a season where some people don't play as much as they'd like. It's impossible because you have got 20 odd players. What you want is that if people are on the sidelines, then you want them to have an influence in a different way and help the team dynamic. That is what Alex has done. He's performed really well, and when he has come into the team and been unlucky not to play more. But I spoke to him about that. I wanted to go with more mobility in the back line and play a bit higher. In many ways we have done that. The likes of Piercy and Jed as well, those are big characters in the dressing room. There are less players being produced like that now because academies are producing a different type of player at times. When one or two players leave, the first thing you look for is that other players have to step up into those roles. There are a number of players experienced enough and that have been at the club long enough to be able to step into those important roles. You can't just sign good footballers, you have to sign good characters as well. You have to sign different types of characters. Sometimes you just want players who get on with their jobs and do it properly all the time, and sometimes you want players who have a little bit of a spark about them in training and they lift the mood when maybe it's a little bit lower than usual if you've lost a game. So there is Gary Rowett talking at length there about what it means and what we need to do in the summer. And here's an idea that I've just had reading this story. George Saville there on the left. The way we play with the two in the middle, quite deep, is he being wasted there? Now we know a couple of seasons before, in his first spell when he was at the club, or maybe the second spell, I forgot now. He scored a fair few goals, but he was playing further forward. If we can't sign someone decent, could George Saville play where Jed Wallace is playing these past couple of seasons? Could he play in that inside right position? He started taking the corners and some of the free kicks when Jed Wallace was out. Can he play further forward in that role? Don't know. I don't know. He maybe. I don't know. Give it a try. Maybe try it out in a pre-season game, see if it works. I'm sure he could adapt if possible. And then just who do you play in the two in the middle? Obviously you've got Billy Mitchell there, George Evans, Mikael Keftenbeld if he's still here. Ryan Leonard. You play Ryan Leonard there, and then move George Saville further forward. Interesting stuff to be getting on with there. So now we're going to look ahead to yesterday's video. I told you about the possible teams in next season's championship. I probably should have waited until today to tell you about that, because there was a full program of Premier League games today, because they moved them all because the FA Cup was yesterday and they didn't want it to clash with them. So the teams involved in a relegation struggle that may or may not be ending our way: Leeds United, which most Millwall fans seem to want to come down. They drew 1-1 with Brighton and Hove Albion. Everton, the real basket case, they were 2-1 up and they ended up losing 3-2 at home to Brentford, and they had 2 players sent off to boot. What a crazy game that was. And in the other game, Burnley lost 1-0 at Tottenham Hotspurs. So we now have Burnley in the last relegation place, but they do have 2 games left to play, where Leeds just have 1. And still seems that Leeds may or may not be the favourites to go down, because I assume that Leeds have yeah, so Leeds have an away game at Brentford. But Burnley have got a home game against Newcastle United and an away game against Aston Villa. I can't see Burnley getting much out of that. We might be seeing Burnley headed our way, but then Everton have got Crystal Palace at home, and then they got to play Arsenal away. It's literally not you can't see them get any of those teams getting many points from those. So I guess we'll just end up getting the worst of the worst, and I think want Leeds because they're probably more of the basket case, and they might struggle to rebound immediately. Maybe Everton as well. I don't know, but yeah, probably should have waited to tell you about that. But I will tell you about next season already. Now, next week, obviously, we're waiting for some stuff to come out. We're waiting for Millwall's release list. I don't think Steve Kavanagh's done his monthly statement yet. Was he waiting until the end of the season, or did he just forget? Has he been on holiday? I don't know. Maybe that'll come out next week. We've got the season ticket. One of the saver periods is ending, so there may be some stuff coming up next week. We do not know, but I wanted to share this with you. This is from EFL.com. Now, these are the dates to look out for, to put in your diary and your calendar on your phone. The fixtures will be released on Thursday, the 23rd of June. So that is in 6 weeks' time. I literally cannot wait. I literally cannot. It's only been 1 week, and I'm really, I'm feeling it, bruv. Now, the season will start on the 30th of July, 2022. It has been done a week earlier because, if you look underneath, Championship pause. What does that mean? Championship resumption. If you did not know, if you've been living in a rock or just working hard, on the 12th of November 2022, the Championship will take a break, and it will not come back until the 10th of December 2022. So it's going to take a month break. Why are they taking a month's break? Well, because the corrupt cronies at FIFA awarded the Qatar World Cup. They gave it to Qatar, a country that in July would be at 120 degrees Fahrenheit, so it needs to be played in winter when it's only 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Isn't that fantastic? So, yes, so this is from skysports.com. This was a while ago. This came out in November. Championship to be paused during Qatar 2022 showpiece next summer, but League 1 and League 2 will continue. So yes, if you wanted to do anything during that time, a break, weeks away, trips away, I don't know. During that time there will be no Millwall between November 21, November 21 and December 18 is when the World Cup is actually on, and the break is between the 12th of November and the 10th of December. So yeah, so we're actually going to start before the World Cup ends. So that should mean the week before the World Cup final, you'll have the semi-finals in the midweek, and then at the weekend, the final and the third, fourth playoff, if they're still doing that shit. So the Championship season will resume, and you assume that they're doing it because what's the likelihood that Championship players will be involved in the World Cup semi-final or the World Cup final? Very, very unlikely. But in the event that 3 players are involved, of course, that game will be postponed. But yeah, the break is 12th of November to the 10th of December. So if you've got any weddings you want to plan, birthday parties, or some kind of shit, I don't know, fundraisers, some kind of thing, between that month there's not going to be any Millwall. So you might be able, if you've got like Millwall people and you want them to come to an event, put it on during there, and they should turn up. So if we carry on this, so they've also confirmed the EFL has also confirmed the fourth round of the Carabao Cup would be scheduled for the week between the World Cup final and the Premier League's resumption on Boxing Day. Aha! So if, now it's a big if because I don't think we've made the fourth round of the FA Cup, of the Carabao Cup in a long time, the League Cup. If we were to get to the fourth round of the Carabao Cup, we would be at a slight advantage because so the World Cup final would be on one weekend, probably on a Sunday, and then the next weekend the Premiership carries on. Or the next week and a half afterwards, the Premier League carries on. And in that gap, in the midweek between those two times, the Carabao Cup fourth round will be played. So, if we were to get to the fourth round and be drawn against a Premier League team, we could have them on the ropes in terms of fitness, because we would have been back a couple of weeks earlier. And we might have them, might have a very good chance to knock the Premier League team out of the Carabao Cup. But what does this mean, though? What does this mean? So, if we go back to the EFL website, the final day of the season is still the 6th of May. So this year was the 7th of May, so it's the same. So all they've done is moved the league forward to start earlier by 1 week. But we've taken a month's break, so that's probably 3 or 4 games. Maybe 5. So there's going to be 1 game played earlier. What's happening to those games that you would have been played in that space there? They're going to be midweek games, so you need to bear this in mind if you're buying a season ticket. That there could be 4 more midweek games next season. And now, obviously, they're not all going to be home games. That would be ridiculous. But it's probably going to be 2 more. So if you're not a person who can easily make midweek games, factor that in when you're buying a season ticket. Maybe find someone who can go to midweek games and share it with them. Get them to buy that off you, or just help them out with it. I don't know, but bear that in mind if you're buying a season ticket. Yeah, that it seems there will be more midweek games next season because of this stupid World Cup in a desert. And if you are a dreamer and a believer in the project of Gary Rowett, and best take a note of this, because I think this is the only way we're probably going to get promoted. I doubt it's going to be very hard to finish for us to finish in the top 2, but playoffs is a real possibility. It's not easy, but it's possible. And for us to get to the EFL playoff next season, that final game will be on Monday the 29th of May 2023. So bank holiday Monday 29th of May 2023. Put that in your diary if you are a believer. And here's some Carabao Cup games. These are obviously all midweek. Clearly the 21st of December, so that looks to be a game before Christmas. If we're even going to be in that game, we usually get knocked out in round 2. But yeah, just take a note of these dates and put them down in your diary. And we await now next week. Obviously, I told you we're waiting for the release list of players released by Millwall. We're waiting maybe for Steve Kavanagh's statement. I don't know if he's going to do one. We are waiting for, what are we waiting for? Oh, we're waiting for maybe not, if Danny McNamara gets into this Nations League squad for Ireland. The games are at the beginning of, I think it's the 4th of June, so that is 3 weeks away. They normally announce the squad 2 weeks in advance. I don't know when that's coming out. That may be this Friday or this Saturday. They generally do it. I don't know, maybe next week, the 26th or the 25th, but hopefully they put Danny McNamara in a squad and have a look at him. That would be nice. It's a crazy tournament. I've told you about this before. They've got like 4 games in 12 days, so the squad's going to be stretched. So he's chomping at the bit to get in there. Now, if he does get in there, he needs to hit the ground running. He can't not perform. He doesn't need to try too hard or like, be superstar. He just needs to be solid and not look out of place. But we wait to see if he gets in that squad, and that seems to be it for so far. I doubt we're going to be signing any players. We're just waiting to see who's getting released. And yeah, on that note, thank you for watching, and good.